Welcome, everybody. This is Penn Street with Aftersight, and this is our fifth episode. And I am super excited and humbled to announce that this podcast has already started with a bang. We have a record number of listeners just in the last couple of weeks. So let's keep this community growing, and don't hesitate to reach out to me through Audio Information Network of Colorado. If you would like to be on the podcast, or if you know of somebody who you would like to be on the podcast, just reach out to me. Today, I'm super excited. A long time friend of mine, Ethan Johnston, is with me today. And I met Ethan, oh my gosh, I don't even know how many years ago. Actually,
seems really a long time ago, yeah.
It was at a National Federation of the Blind Colorado convention, and instantly became friends. And we've shared a lot of journeys together, hiked mountains together, and sat on panels and things like that together. And so I'm really excited to have Ethan on board today. Ethan, tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much, Penn, for having me. This is awesome. Yeah, a little bit about me. My real name is Esubalew, but the reason I got Ethan Johnston is because I got adopted back in 1997 from Ethiopia. Seems a long time ago. I guess I've been here 23 years or 24 years. I don't know. I can't keep track anymore, but a lot of my Ethiopian friends make fun of me saying, you're not Ethiopian, you're American, which is true. But, you can't discard me of my Ethiopian identity. That's, I'm definitely proud to have both cultures, just because sometimes when you feel like you are struggling here, you go back home and live with parent, like my family there. I still have a mom and I have a dad, but I barely remember him. It's kind of like when you're looking at something, you could barely see it. That's what it feels like. But, it is what it is. But yeah, so I got adopted in 1997, March 18th, and grew up in Missouri. And then my parents were crazy enough to adopt 21 of us from all over the world. And so that gave me some perspective and other people's stories and cultures. And I finished high school in Missouri, and then I heard about this place called Colorado. And I remember, when I was in sixth grade, people like my Braille teacher or my O&M teacher be like, "Oh, you should go to Colorado and ski." I'm like, I didn't even know what that was.
What's snow, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's a funny story. So when I first came to the U.S., I'm used to running around barefoot, and obviously March, still winter. And I remember one day I just ran outside barefoot, and my bare feet hit the snow. I'm like, what? I jumped up thinking I stepped in something cold, and then everywhere is snow.
Wow.
And that's when I decided I had to put on shoes. And so that's a little side story there. But yeah, so came to the Colorado Center for the Blind, got training to become an independent blind guy. And before that, honestly, I didn't think blind people could do what they do now. And so the center gave me vision and a hope. And obviously, without going through the Colorado Center for the Blind, I don't think I'll be who I am today. It was so important in my life that my mom thinks I'm arrogant. And I always thought it's not arrogance, it's confidence. Like, my thought was at the beginning, I thought I was going to marry some beautiful, I don't know, back then I had a crush on blondes, but a beautiful blonde that did everything. And I'd just be at home sitting and doing nothing. But obviously, what is it, 23 years later, it's different. So that's kind of a little bit about me.
Were the other children that were adopted, did any of them, were they visually impaired, or were you the only one?
I was the only one. The ones, I have a sister that doesn't have legs or arms. I have two sisters who have one leg amputated from the knee below.
Mm.
I have a sister who had scoliosis, so she's, obviously in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a brother who had one bone on each leg.
Wow.
And then his hands were, I don't know what the scientific terminology, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but it was like from his elbow forward, like his arm is maybe like 5 inches. And then he had 2 fingers. One went the opposite, like it folded the opposite way. And then where his thumb would be, like it didn't have enough like bone or whatever. So it'd be kind of floppy. And then in the middle, he had this sharp bone. So every time we get in a fight, he just takes that and jabs it right in your ribs. And it's painful. And then his elbow is kind of like a round, big old, it kind of looks like if you fold your knee, it kind of looks like a knee.
Oh,
and so sometimes that's how you would hit you. He'll swing it like a baseball bat. And so you better duck. We had a lot of fights because he's a stubborn Taurus. And so he'll say he'll do something. He never do it. And then you ask him, why didn't you do it? And he's like, he wouldn't say anything. So then I get so angry. So my method was just pick him up and throw him like Street Fighter video game. So those are some of the disabilities that we had. The others were, I guess, what you call able-bodied.
Able-bodied.
Yeah.
Wow. I think it's always a positive thing when children are exposed to a diverse set of human beings, so to speak. Because I think as you grow up, you don't think of people who are different, disabled, whatever the term you want to use. It's not so shocking to you because if you grew up with it, it's like you sort of grasp, like, we're all different. We all have different attributes. We have different strengths and weaknesses.
Absolutely.
And I think that sort of shapes who we are as an adult when we get that sort of immersion into diversity as a child. And boy, were you immersed and drowned in it growing up? So
no, it was definitely the beauty of it, honestly, just because I got to learn about different cultures, different backgrounds, different struggles, and definitely I think college was a little bit easier for me just because, everybody's scared because they're leaving mom and daddy, but I was kind of, used to interacting with people and, especially people from different countries because, I always felt like we had something in common. We're all trying to fit in. So I think college is kind of like that for everyone.
Did you go to college in Colorado or did you go back to Missouri?
So after I graduated high school, I went back to CCB for the adult program. It's called the ITP.
Yeah.
And during that time, that kind of helped me get in-state residency. And I already applied to CU.
Oh, wonderful.
And CU accepted me, but they were going to charge me out-of-state costs. And I DVR, vocational rehab.
Yeah.
My counselor was like, nope, you're going to go to Colorado. That's your problem. You figure it out. So I had to open my case in Colorado and get the in-state residency. And then, I was a buff for 3 years. And then I transferred to Metro State, became a road runner. And it's such a different school between those two.
Yeah.
Boulder is a lot of distraction. You got beautiful women, you got parties, beautiful women from Cali and Atlanta and New York. And as a blind person, don't ask me how I know that. That's another story. But
do you do the Ray Charles test?
Honestly, I have like a 96% of rating far as knowing if I should say women are beautiful by their voice.
Interesting.
And I guess, people are like, what is your rating scale? I would ask side of guys, obviously. And yeah, you're right. How'd you know? It's like, I did not use a Ray Charles method, unless they asked for it.
Oh, okay. And
which then it gets, which it gets awkward.
For our audience out there, if you ever saw the film Ray Charles would always put out his hand, especially to women, and he would wrap his fingers around their wrists and just very gently touch their hands, because you can tell a lot about a person by their hands. And he would do the wrist thing because you could, he liked smaller, maybe this isn't the greatest term, but bird-like women. And you could tell that. He could tell a lot about their stature from, from their
For
wrist.
sure. For sure. Yeah, I mean, the other ones are like, do you want to feel my face? That's
that
gets really awkward.
That's a little too intimate there.
Yeah, I was like, that's too far. I've been in those situations. You're just like, no. How do you say that politely?
I think just no.
Yeah, exactly.
That's as polite as it gets, I think.
Yeah. What was I saying? So yeah, basically went from CU to Metro State, and obviously Metro State, you could be going to school with your grandmother, your mom, so it's hard. I mean, you have to stay focused. It's not like, oh, there's a party, you want to go? I'm like, yep, I'm not going to class today. So it's a more serious school, which I respect it. So CU Boulder was great too, just because it's a college experience. You just you're supposed to enjoy life because you can only. I mean, I guess you can be in college forever, but you're not going to be young forever.
Exactly.
So that's why I went to college. To answer your question.
And now you work actually for the federal government.
Yeah, I work for the feds, and one thing that irritates me is like, do you work for the IRS? I'm like, I do not work for the IRS. I work for Social Security Administration. That's a blessing for sure, just to have an opportunity, as Penn, the struggle of blind people not having a job, and I think it's like 73%. And I really do feel bad for all of them, just because like we all been there. We all felt the struggle, and I never want to be that arrogant blind person. If somebody asks me, how'd you get there? I'm like, I'll do my best, try to get them in the door, because I know the struggle of getting whatever it was at that time. When I was on it was like 733 or whatever it was. And, nobody wants to be on that. We don't have a choice. And of course, there's some people that think, I'm tired of you blind idiots taking my tax money, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I wish we could switch roles,
Exactly. Just hire me. That's all you have to do.
Seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously. So I'm thankful, but I don't want to settle. I want to keep going, but it's tough. The best part of it is I have a job, even though I'm trying to advance to different parts of, different careers and all that, but it's still hard. It's kind of like, yes, I do have a job, but it's kind of like you don't have a job because you're trying to advance. So you can obviously, you want more money. Yes, money cannot buy you happiness, but it can buy you comfort.
Yes, I that's a great way to put that. I've never heard it put that way, and it's true. And also, I just, you go to school and you work hard and you show up, and you deserve to be advanced just like everybody else. And,
exactly.
I think a lot of our listeners have been in that situation where they have a job, but it's not, they're getting overlooked for whatever reason. And you really do have to really be your own self-advocate about that.
No doubt.
And really, I mean, it may not be the right fit. You may need to like completely alter, your career path, but that's scary. I think it's scary for everybody, but when you're looking at a 73% unemployment rate for our community, it's hard to like make that shift and stuff. So
because it's kind of like starting over anyway.
Exactly. And Ethan, tell us a little bit about the nonprofit that you work with.
Yes. So me being from Ethiopia, and there's a lot of blind people back home, and obviously it's lack of resources as far as the right doctors. Some of the things could have been taken care of, but when you don't have the money, you don't have the doctors or resources to get cured, you become blind. And a lot of times you end up in the streets begging. And so I was in that situation. Obviously, my blindness wasn't because I was sick with disease or anything like that. Mine was, I was intentionally blinded to be used as a beggar. And obviously, again, for those people that don't know me, they think I'm just, I am and grateful. I complain a lot, but I think knowing where I come from and knowing the struggles that I went through, as far as, being on the streets for 2 years or longer, I can't, I don't remember, but
Right.
knowing walking in the rain and not having a choice,
Right.
right, not having anything to eat. The only way I ate was people that were selling their fruit, like bananas, oranges, or the fresh bread that they made. They shared that with me. That's the only way I was fed. And I was making money for the people that blinded me. And so child trafficking does happen. And whether via blinding somebody or, doing some sort of damage to their body parts, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I understand the struggle. So in 2008, I was at the CCB, and I was in my head, I was going to start a nonprofit.
Right.
But some guy from Ethiopia was there trying to get some ideas on, how to start a nonprofit for blind people. And they're like, oh, there's this little scrawny Ethiopian. You should talk to him. And we started chatting it up, and he's like, well, why don't we just do it together? Since you have the same interest, why open up two nonprofits? And so we started the nonprofit called Door of Hope ETO Ministry for the Blind. The name is too long, but I'm at the bottom of the food chain.
That's okay.
So what it does is basically we try to provide resources. So for instance, blind kids that finish high school and want to go to college, we provide, if we have the funding, we try to fundraise, and we provide laptops with narrator and video on there. And shout out to all the people that participate in making NVDA accessible and free. That's really beautiful. So we provide laptops for them, and so that way they kind of have it's not all the way, but better than what they have. Try to make it equal playing field when they go to college, and so then they can get a job and be employed. So that's.
So are you sending those to Ethiopia, or are you purchasing them? Oh, okay, wonderful.
We purchase them here and we send them there, because to purchase them there is way more expensive than the regular rate. And so it's better to get it from here, and plus it's more advanced. You can't trust people in third world countries. They'll try to scam you the best way they can.
Everybody has to make money. I know.
Exactly. So, and then for those people that are not going to go to college, we try to provide them shelter and some sort of jobs, or just trying to, help them survive, or help them partnership with somebody to do some sort of business. But we've been around, like I said, since 2008. We're just trying to figure out how to get bigger and get the word out. It's just it's hard, but especially now, the COVID year, we had a hard time. We had to use GoFundMe, and then of course things got more expensive. And it's like, man, we got people graduating, but we don't have enough stuff to send it to them. So that's kind of what the Door of Hope ETO Ministry for the Blind does.
And what's the website that people can go to, or how can they connect with you?
Yeah, I think it is Door of Hope ETO Ministry for the Blind.com, or you can Google us. I'm sure the president's Belay, Beleye. Daresa, Drese, I believe. I'm a terrible my own language speller. Overall I'm a terrible speller. Anyway, so, or you can contact me, I guess, through Penn.
Okay, yeah. If anybody, absolutely, anybody who would like a direct link, we can actually have it in the description of this podcast.
That'd be cool. I appreciate that.
We'll definitely include that in there. Because I think what you're doing is just freaking amazing. Because not only because of where you came from, you're just this little kid playing at home, and then one day somebody decides, not yourself or even anybody you know, but somebody
Yeah.
decides they're going to completely alter the rest of your life,
Yeah.
with very little regard to you as a human. And just the journey that you took, you know, from your village to Missouri to Colorado, and then you've shared with me a little bit about when you got to go home and
Well,
and see your parent, you see your mom again, especially. It's amazing. I mean, you really are just, I know people have told you this, but you're just this incredible human being that has defied, I mean, all the odds. Like, if just one of the things in your life had happened to somebody, they would have just curled up in a ball and probably given up. But you found that, spark inside you, and that you just kept going and going, and you're still going. You know, you started out talking about, like, the Ethiopian community is telling you, no, you're American. But to me, wherever you call home, regardless if it's where you were born or your chosen home, like, no matter where that is, that's where you're from.
yeah.
It's not where you were born. It's where you choose to call home. And the work you're doing with the community in Ethiopia is phenomenal, because it's so far away. It's not like what I do with Audio Information Network of Colorado. It's right here, right? It's like I go to that office, and I get to see and hear our listeners over the phone, and I'm immersed in that. But you're doing this nonprofit work clear around the world, where I'm sure you rarely get to meet these students that you're helping. And it's just amazing what you've done. And I hope that you can continue doing that, because
No, definitely. I mean, going back to, like going back home and all that, like in life, man, it's, excuse my language, but life is a bitch. We're going on a date. It is a date, because you don't know life. It's always, that's a 2 Chainz quote. Sorry, it's a rapper.
That's okay.
But it's I mean, he's a funny guy. But anyway, like, it is true, because you think you know life, but you don't. It could change tomorrow, it can change in the next minute, it can change in then. It's just, it's hard. But I mean, for me, and again, people like say it's a cliche, blah blah blah, but like, honestly, you have to have great support. And without a great support, I wouldn't be here, honestly. Like, I had, especially like in college, I had a huge identity crisis. Again, it's not trying to make it a sappy story or sob story. Is when you're adopted, you kind of feel like that stray dog that doesn't really have a place to go. Yes, your adoptive parents, try to make it easy as possible, but at the end of the day, you're not theirs, and they don't really know you that well. They're just trying to help you out, which is beautiful. And so in college, it was really hard. Like, I remember when I went back home for the first time, and going back to my village, obviously I didn't speak the language, and I had a translator, but I said a lot. But it was lost in translation. I just felt like, even though I said a lot in English, I felt I was on mute.
Oh, wow.
And it was really hard.
Yeah.
It was one of the hardest times, just because, like, you had a lot to say, because they welcomed me with open arms. I mean, they were singing, dancing, crying. And for me to just stand there, I mean, you're emotional, but they can understand exactly how I felt, because I couldn't really say it from my own heart to them. It has to go through another person. And so to see them accept me, even though, like, my mom thought I was dead this whole time. because she never, when they took me from her, they told her they're going to bring me back every holiday, which in Ethiopia is like every month, and she'd never seen me. And so she said every funeral that she went to, she said she cried hard because she thought of me. And here I show up healthy. According to them, I was overweight.
Oh.
But at that time, I was in my best shape of my life. And so, everybody was just shocked. And I never forgot her voice because she was like the singer for weddings and celebrations in the village. And so I never forgot the voice.
So you recognized her voice.
Yeah.
Even though you couldn't see her, you recognized her. Wow.
Exactly. But going back to the point, like I had a lot of support. Obviously my parents and I don't see eye to eye now, but I still call my mom and dad because they gave me an opportunity and they dealt with my teenager attitude or whatever they want to call it, my arrogance and gratefulness or whatever. So I still call mom and dad, even though we don't like them now. We headbutt. We don't see eye to eye because I'm a Coloradan and they're Missourian. Well, they're Iowan / Missourian. So people, you can put 1 and 1, 2 and 2 together. So, but they gave me an opportunity. And then from that opportunity, I had some great friends that I grew up with in Missouri who helped me, love sports and got me hip hop music, put Lion King soundtrack on it because my parents were against hip hop music. And then of course, going to the Colorado Center for the Blind and, giving me the opportunity to become independent.
Yeah.
And then the Social Security Administration gave me the opportunity. And then the Achilles running group.
Yes.
My Ethiopian people in Boulder, they definitely, especially a few people in Boulder that they took me under their wings. They're like the mother chicken. I was like the little chick. They put me under their wings and raised me and steer me back to the right direction. Because there's a lot of adopted kids that go down the wrong path.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that breaks me more than anything, just because like I understand why they went that way. I think there just needs to be like some sort of like adoption mentorship. Because again, like I said earlier, you feel that stray dog feeling. And so, like you don't fit anywhere. And so you try to fit in and sometimes it's in the wrong crowd and then it's too late to go back. So,
yeah. Have you ever thought about making that part of your nonprofit mission, is helping the kids here that have been adopted kind of feel that sort of support that you got while you were here?
I try to be, but sometimes again, there's another, like, you don't want to like overstep where you feel like you're trying to take them away from them. Cause like, I definitely get that vibe sometimes when I like, when I talk to some parents, then there needs not to be said like no word. You can feel the vibe.
Yeah.
And so
they're guarded.
Exactly.
Guarded. Yeah. That kind of makes sense. But
yeah, I understand that. Absolutely.
yeah.
And so I just kind of, if they reach out to me, I try to do my best. I have a few cool kids that are adopted. We, hang out. I go hang out at their house and stuff like that. And I actually used to attend like a African Caribbean camp, and I know a lot of kids from there. I haven't done it in a while, but obviously COVID got in the way too. But they reach out, I'm here. But all I can do is be a resource, because like again, you don't want to be overstepping.
Right. And you have your own 2 little boys now. Your dad, and that's gotta, kind of your next chapter in your life, being a dad.
Yeah, that part. It's crazy, just because I never thought, like, I guess I didn't know what love was until I guess you have your own, honestly. And even though I have a 3-year-old and he's a pain in the butt, jumping off couches, tables earlier today. I don't know what he was trying to make, but he dumped a half a bag of flour and eggs in the sink. So I think he was trying to make pizza. I'm not sure what he's trying to do. So those moments drive you crazy, but when I can't find something, like, oh, daddy, right here.
Oh,
We wrestle, we play football, we play basketball, and it's just it's cool to see your little mini you, and like, so yeah, I mean it's crazy when it's like circle of life.
Yeah, it's you talked earlier about you could judge beauty by the women's voices, young girls' voices. And you could, I don't know, I'm sure the audience heard it too when you were talking about your little boys. Your voice changed and
it just makes you emotional.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is. It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful.
It's a beautiful gift just because I mean I got brand new pair of eyes, which is true. I can't wait now until when I get to go support him when he's playing sports or whatever he's doing, and be a proud papa.
Yeah. Well, you already are, and it just gets better and better. So what's next for you, Ethan? Like what are some of your goals, like your dreams?
To win the lottery.
That's a good one.
I'm sure that's everybody's goal. No, I mean, honestly, I think it's just to get this nonprofit bigger than what it is now. I think what I'll be comfortable, obviously not satisfied, is, get this nonprofit going and helping out people back home. And then, of course, taking care of my mom. My mom back home. My mom here, she's fine. She just enjoys her politics, so she can continue with that. But my mom back home. And then I have a sister. I want to take care of her and her family. And then I have a million cousins that, like I just want to put them in the right place where they can succeed. Because again, you don't want to, there's a saying where you don't want to give it to them, then you're going to make them lazy. But I want to give them the resources to continue living well, not having to struggle just on the farm. Oh, the farm didn't grow crops this year. Oh, what are we going to do? So I want to put them in a better position. So I think obviously that's a long-term goal. Short-term goal, I think I just want to be the best parent I could be. And, I want to raise them the best way I can. And, I call in the Ethiopian culture, we call this investment. You raise your kids the best way you can. And then when you get older, they're supposed to take care of you. So hopefully they don't forget that. So I gotta work on my investments.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a great one. Yeah, I don't think I've heard that term before, but it sure makes sense.
I'm sure they won't like it, but too bad.
It's the way the world turns. But I mean, you just give back so much, Ethan, and I know that I feel similar. That I had so many incredible people that just came into my life when I needed them most, and kind of kept me out of some crazy places that could have been easy to go down. And
no doubt.
But I do know that every time when you come to one of those sort of crossroads, right? You still have to make the decision. Like, even though it presents itself, you're the one who eventually has to say, this way might be easier than this other way, but I'm going to choose this other way. And it's going to be more work going this direction, but that's the path I choose. And and I've known you long enough that I've seen that over and over with you, and how much you give back, and how you just you light up a room when you go in, and you just have this magic about you. And I'm not just saying that to be silly, but it's true.
I know. And I mean, honestly, that's the same way with you. That's why I think we stayed friends this long. Because I mean, friends get changed like underwear, honestly. But like our friendship stayed this long because obviously we both have the same vibe and same, goals. And, we know we're blessed to be in this situation, and we're trying to give back to the best of ways possible. And I mean, so I think it's like, to me, like I believe, like I know back in the day, I used to, it's great. Let's have many friends as possible. I think it's better to have a really tight circle, and then kind of, I guess, whatever comes around that. But you have to have that tight circle, because, it's very important, when you're down, you can go to that circle and they'll support you.
I agree.
That
I
circle's
agree
too
with
big,
that.
then it's gonna be teeter-totter.
Yeah, and that's when you find out
Who you're real.
who your real friends are.
Absolutely.
When everything's hit the fan and they're standing there with you. So
exactly. You're supporting
Ethan, thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you. I know we were going to hike together this summer, and that didn't work out. But now that COVID's getting a little better, we'll connect soon.
I'm supposed to get the shot this Friday, the first one at least. So I already had it, and I hate needles. I had tuberculosis back in the day, and I had 60 needles in each butt cheek, obviously not at the same time. So I feel like I don't want any more needles in me. But I already had COVID, and I feel like I beat it. And it's not a politics thing. It's just like I already beat it. My body already dominated. I don't need it. But works as you have to get it, I'll get it. It's all good.
Yeah.
But we'll see each other soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you. And listeners, I definitely will put the link in the description of this podcast so that you can check out what Ethan is doing with his Belva. Is that how you say it? Belva?
Oh, Bella Darasa. Bella
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And the Door of Hope ETO ministry for the blind. And, we'll take, the website's not the most beautiful website, but we'll take any advice as far as fundraising or any ideas. The problem I'm running into right now is that I'm not that religious of a person. I mean, obviously I'm spiritual, but the board is, and so they kind of want to stick to the whole church type of thing. But my thing is like, you got to go get everybody. Everybody has money. I mean, we're trying to chase the money. We're not. I mean, God's great, yada yada. Sure, but you got to get the resources however you can get them. Obviously, not selling drugs or doing other things, but the proper way, the proper channels.
Exactly. Yeah, and I've got some ideas that I'll share with you.
Awesome.
So we'll connect soon. Well, again, Ethan, thank you so much for letting me chat with you today. And for our listeners, I know that it'll be a treat for them as well. So again, thank everybody out there for tuning in, and please share, please subscribe to the podcast, and have a wonderful fall, and be well, and take time to be kind to someone today. So
absolutely.
Thanks, Ethan. We will be talking soon.
All right. Appreciate you.
Okay.